In the Pokemon trading card game, similar to the video games, Pokemons have attacks, but here they have a cost to use them. Each Pokemon needs a specific amount and type of energy cards to perform their attacks, with stronger attacks requiring more energy. For example, this Pikachu attack needs 2 energy cards including 1 electric to deal 20 damage. But Mewtwo's attack requires 4 energy cards, including 2 psychic, to deal 120 damage. The problem? Well, you can only attach 1 energy per turn, which means that stronger attacks also take longer to use. But there are ways around this rule, some that even let you cheat it. Today, we will be talking about one of my favorite abilities in the game, the Rain Dance ability. Blastoise Rain Dance is one of the most iconic abilities in the history of Pokemon trading card game. But did you know that over the past 26 years, we have seen this ability or similar ones a total of 15 times, with 8 of them achieving varying levels of success during their respective periods. But why? What makes these cards good or bad? What exactly is a Rain Dance ability? And how has this ability managed to appear in World Championship winning decks and to see no play at all? Hi, I'm TheRainbowPitt, and I'm here to learn about Pokemon trading card games past and discuss its present so we can prepare for its future together. If you'd also like to learn, please consider subscribing and liking this video. Today, we're discussing the Rain Dance ability, its cards, and the impact it has had on the Pokemon trading card game. But what is a Rain Dance ability, I hear you ask? Well, that's the easy part. This is an ability on one of your Pokemon that will let you play a specific type of energy from your hand for free, as many times as you want during your turn. Usually the card text reads, as often as you like during your turn, before your attack, you may attach an energy card from your hand to one of your Pokemon. Now, let's talk about these cards. We start with base set Blastoise, which introduced the very first Rain Dance ability. Rain Dance. This ability reads, as often as you like during your turn, before your attack, you may attach 1 water energy card to one of your water Pokemon. This doesn't use up your 1 energy card attachment for the turn. This power can be used if Blastoise is asleep, confused, or paralyzed. As you can see, this text is quite different from the one I read earlier. There are restrictions on this ability, allowing the energy attachments only to water Pokemon. As we explore these cards, you'll see that these restrictions leave and come back intermittently. However, with this Blastoise, the restriction didn't affect them at all, because its attack synergized perfectly with the ability, needing very little outside help from other attackers. At the time, removing energies from your opponent's Pokemon was a very popular strategy, and Blastoise was a great way at playing around that, as it could attack every turn thanks to its ability, make it a very competitive deck in the format. We wouldn't see a similar ability until the EX sets 5 years later, with Blastoise EX. Now, you were able to attach the water energy to any Pokemon at the cost of dealing them 10 damage. Initially, this card saw little to no play, up until 2 years later, with the release of Holon Cast Form. These Pokemon work as 2 energy of every type, but could only be attached to a Pokemon that already had an energy, then returning the attached energy to your hand. Blastoise was the perfect partner, being able to attach a water energy, then Cast Form, then return the water energy to the Pokemon. In this way, charging any Pokemon that needed 3 or more energies regardless of type. Famously, they were partnered with Lugia EX, who needed 3 different energy types for the strongest attack in the format that was able to knock out any Pokemon in a single hit. This deck achieved 5 Nationals wins, along with 6 National Top 4 placements, and it also finished 13th at Worlds 2006. Next, we have Feraligatr Prime and Black and White Emboar, or Inferno Fandango Emboar. Both of these cards ended up being in format at the same time, with Feraligatr being a little bit earlier. This one had the same ability as base set Blastoise, but without a useful attack, it was cornered into needing a good water partner Pokemon. And since it was never able to find a proper one, it ended up seeing little play in the format. From now on, all Rain Dance Pokemon having bad attacks will become a constant. Emboar, on the other hand, saw an improvement in the ability. It was actually able to attach the fire energy to anyone, just like Blastoise EX, but without dealing the damage. This card quickly became relevant in the metagame, achieving a top 16 at US Nationals 2011. But it wouldn't truly shine until Worlds that year, when paired with 3 powerful attackers, Magneton Prime, Reshiram, and Rayquaza and Deoxys Legend, altogether achieving the victory of the tournament. Emboar was the crucial piece that tied all these cards together, all having strong attacks that needed multiple energies every turn, paired with the flexibility of this ability, was the perfect storm for victory. We then see the third and last appearance of Blastoise, and arguably the best Rain Dance card ever, the Lush Blastoise. Due to reprints, this card was in the format for almost 8 years, featuring an ability similar to Emboar's, but for water energy. On release, this card was paired with Keldeo EX and Black Huron EX, both strong attackers that greatly benefited from multiple energies. This version of the deck achieved 3rd place at Worlds 2013 and 9th place at Worlds 2014. But it wouldn't be up until later when we would see a spike in play, with the release of Archie's Ace in the Hole. It's important to note that all of these Pokemon that we've been talking about are Stage 2, meaning that to get to a Blastoise you first need to start with a Squirtle, then wait a turn and evolve it into a Water Turtle, then wait a turn and now you can evolve it into a Blastoise. This, as you can imagine, is a slow process. However, with Archie's Ace in the Hole, you could play Blastoise directly from the discard pile on a single turn, significantly speeding up the deck. In the first year of the deck, it not only made the top 16 at US Nationals, but it was also able to win Worlds 2015. This deck would later see a resurgence in 2017, with numerous Pokemon options, then being able to achieve multiple top 4s and top 16 finishes at various regionals throughout the season. Next, we went through the great drought of Rain Dance usage. We actually got a lot of Pokemon at this time, and one of these was even at the same time as the Lush Blastoise. But most of these cards would see little to no play, with only 2 seeing very limited usage. So what Pokemon did we got? Well, we got 3 different Magnezons, 2 Lightning, 1 Steel. We also got a Porygon C, which worked only with special energies, and then a Hydreigon that worked only with Dark type energies. Out of these 5 cards, only the Steel type Magnezon and the Porygon C saw any play. Porygon C even secured a 4th place finish at the Taiwan Regional Tournament, while the Steel Magnezon was played with Duskmane Necrozma GX, achieving 3 top 8 finishes at different regionals and a top 16 finish at the Latin American Intercontinental Championship in 2018. Now, all of these cards suffer from a lack of strong partners, and were impacted by the formats being too fast for Stage 2 Pokemon to keep up, especially without using something like Archie's Ace in the Hole, which only worked with Water-type Pokemon. Later, we also got Frostmoth, Cherrim, and Finion, each of which had a Rain Dance-like ability, but came with significant limitations, as these were only Stage 1 and basic Pokemon. Finion was the worst one out of these 3, as it was only able to attach the energies to other Pokemon with the Freely Swim ability, which were about 4 cards in the game. Cherrim's restrictions wouldn't allow it to attach the Grass-type energies to Rulebox Pokemon, these being the strongest and most important Pokemon at that format. Frost mode, meanwhile, well, it could only support water-type Pokemon that were on your bench. These limitations reduce flexibility, making the ability nearly unplayable. But even then, despite these limitations, Frost mode found some success. Due to its requirement of only being a Stage 1 Pokemon and the presence of several good water Pokemon in the format, this deck was able to even win the Brisbane Regional Tournament in 2022, utilizing various water-type Pokemon as attackers in a toolbox-like deck. Now, we enter the present with two new options, Super Cold Excalibur and Ionos Bellibolt. Ionos Bellibolt faces limitations similar to Finite, as it can only work with other Ionos Pokemon, greatly cutting its flexibility and thus resulting in minimal competitive play. On the other hand, Excalibur lacks any restrictions, allowing it to effectively partner with Chien-Pao EX and Radiant Greninja. This deck has achieved notable success, including 4 regional wins and 5 top 4 finishes in 2024, and a top 16 placement in both Worlds 2023 and 2024. After all this, we can learn that to make a rain dance card effective, it must have strong partners that can fully take benefit from its ability, as the card by itself lacks any impact without good attackers. It's also notable that most of the attacking partners are usually basic Pokemon. This allows you to focus only on evolving your Rain Dance Pokemon without the added problems of evolving your attackers, which would slow down the deck even further. Additionally, these cards perform best in slower formats, or when there are ways to bypass or accelerate the evolution process consistently. So let's say if a card like this were to come out in the future. Maybe something like a new Emboar Inferno Fandango in the black and white set. Then it would need stronger, more effective partners to compete in the current metagame. It would also greatly benefit from a slower format or a consistent method to evolve your Stage 2 Pokemon within 1 or 2 turns. If any of these conditions aren't met, or if a faster alternative is already available, then it would probably see no competitive play at all. So after everything we have learned today, I think I'm still liking this ability a lot. I think it's a very fair ability in the end, especially when giving these Pokemons bad attacks. It's an ability that's not able to do everything by itself and that still requires other partner Pokemons to be able to fulfill all of your duties within a single game. I think it's a very fun ability, and I think whenever an ability like this is being played in a format, might mean it's very slower format that allows for a lot more plays and a lot more interaction within the players, and I think that's always a good thing. I really like this ability, and I hope they keep printing, and I have very high hopes for the new Emboar, so let's hope it's good. But hey, maybe I missed something, maybe one of these cards was actually more played. Maybe one of these cards actually didn't see any play, or you think one of them is especially bad. Maybe I even missed one completely. So let me know in the comments below. If you have anything else to share, if you have any recommendations for future videos, let me know. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you the next time.